Hello everyone, this is Lee Hendricks. Welcome to my channel about North Carolina gold prospecting. Today's Saturday, and I just recently made a video down in Uwharrie where I got some gold in a creek that I call Golf Ball Creek. But I've been looking for a creek a little closer to home that I can, do some more elaborate prospecting, specifically with a high banker and some electric motorized equipment, which I can't do in Uwharrie. So my friend Kevin got permission from his father-in-law for me to come down and check a creek on his property, which is located here in Moxville, and beautiful farmland. Looking forward to checking it out. But even if I don't find anything, this is awesome. It's beautiful down here, and it's like a spring day. It's warm, a little breezy, but yeah, this is a good day to be out. So I'll show you guys if I find anything. If not, Kevin, I will at least put some sort of mention about your artwork. But anyway, Kevin, thanks again, and maybe I'll strike it rich. We'll see. Well, I'm going downhill and I can see the creek from here, and I just looked down and I saw this cobblestone. It's probably been broken up by some farm equipment, but look how rounded this thing is. So this must be a really old waterway, and it's strange that this rock would be up this far from the flood line. All right, I made it down to the creek. This is a really pretty creek. It's got a lot of sand. Look at this sand bank, which is not a good thing for finding gold, but you can see some black sand right in there. There are some gravels down in here. I really like seeing these nice rounded stones like this. That's a good sign. Look at that big one. That's a piece of quartz. Looks like there may be a little waterfall up here. Hey, there's a little bit of bedrock right in here. This is probably going to be my first test spot. Not nearly as much sand, and what I see is black sand right down in there. There's a big piece of bedrock jutting out. This is cool. Broke off at some point, and there's a piece of it. And this is where the water is. So if I find any gold, this hole right here would be my next spot for testing. But I didn't bring my tripod today, so I'm not going to be able to have any video other than just showing results. Yeah, I was using it downstairs last night to record the ending of that other video. Look at all the sand that accumulated right there. There's a little drainage ditch. It comes right out of the hillside there. I see some quartz down here. I like the sun right here. It'll make it easier to see the gold if there's any here. I think I'll come right to this spot. I'm not going to be able to set up my tripod to show you the actual testing. I'll just have to show you the results if I find anything. But, I'll move some of these rocks and get down, see if I can hit some clay or bedrock, and see what I find. Alright, so I just shoveled from this little spot. Look at that quartz right there. There's the material. Very gravelly, a lot of black sand. There's some clay. This may actually have some gold in it right here. That'd be something to find gold in the very first pan. Yeah, let me see what's in here and I'll show you. Okay guys, you won't believe this. And you're not going to be astounded, but the reason I'm astounded is because I did it in the first pan. I mean, I've been down in Uwharrie and looked in creeks and not found a single speck for a while anyway. But look at that. First try, and I get gold. And look at all the black sand. Kevin, you're the man. Since I found gold already here, I'm not going to switch location. And look at the stuff that's coming out. This is great. It's not exactly clay. Actually, I don't feel any grit in that, so that probably will, I can feel grit on the top of it. So probably I'm going to stay just above that layer. And I'm going to be sluicing right down here. Got it set up kind of steep, but I think that'll work okay. If not, I'll adjust it. So let me get to work. I'm not really seeing a lot of gold. I think I only saw about one speckle through here. But look at the amount of black sand. So I'm sure there's some hiding in these ripples. And that was just a third of a bucket right there. So I've been known to not wash out my pan, and bad things happen when you're doing samples and you don't wash out your pan after finding gold. And while I was sluicing and didn't see any gold, I was thinking about that, but as you can see, that really was gold. Look at all those colors. They're small, but they're there. That's out of a third of a bucket. There's a lot of black sand. There's probably, I don't know, probably at least twice that much gold locked in that I can't tap out. So I'm going to dump all this in a 5-gallon bucket and take a closer look tonight on the water table. But that is just awesome. Moxville, North Carolina has gold. So I was walking up to see, if there's any kind of inside bin. This would be the closest one to where I'm working, and it's just sand. But the thought here is that gold's really small, and it's probably easily washed by currents, just like this black sand. So what if this black sand in this bar has a high concentration of gold? It would be so easy to high bank. But that's the $1,600 an ounce question. So I'm going to do a little testing right here and show you what I find. So I dredged a little hole with my hand dredge right behind this rock because it was creating a low pressure zone. There was a lot of sand and black sand right behind it. So just out of curiosity, I want to see how much gold that holds. And I sluiced out about a quarter of a bucket full, and I didn't classify it, so there's a lot of big stones in there. You see them kind of moving around. They won't fall out, but they're just a little too big. So I'm going to dump the sluice in my classifying basket, and then pan that out and see what's in there. Well, look at this, guys. That's a nice little poker compared to my fingertip. It's got a little bit of girth to it, so it's not just a flat flake. It's chunky, and if you look real close, you can see a bunch of teeny tiny colors in there too. They're blurry. They're just teeny tiny specks, and it's all mixed up. There's I think you can see that right there. I'm gonna get that big piece out. Well, I can't get it out. I gotta dump it in this bucket, but I can pick it out. So that's two nice little pieces of gold. And you remember yesterday I was using my hand dredge to pull up stuff from that creek in Randolph County, and I found one speck out of all that. So you know, I couldn't be happier about the results of today. Alright, so I've been using my hand dredge about right here. There's still sediment at the bottom. It's kind of yellowish looking. So I think I got the black sand off the top. There may be some bigger chunks to go below there if there's nuggets in the stream. I don't know. But there's what I got out. I'm going to classify that first and then run it through my sluice and see what I find. And I'll show you. I'll just dump this bigger stuff out of the bucket there into my pan just in case, since that was a nice deep hole. I don't want anything to go unnoticed here. Take this off real quick. If there's anything big in there, it'll be very... What was that? There's some lead. No gold though. Got this little piece of... Is that tile? Anyway, got a big piece of lead out. Surprised that didn't go through my classifier. But I'm going to set up my sluice down here and run what I just classified in this bucket here. I'm dumping the water out. It's very fine. Here's what I just got out of deep hole with my hand dredge. There's a lot of lead. I don't see anything golden in that. There'll be a few little pieces in the pan when I get done. You'll see. That's the lead that came out of that hole. I'm going to put that in my bucket and then get this down a little smaller, finer material. I know there's a few specks of gold in this. Well, didn't find much gold in that. Here's the biggest pieces. It almost looks like a piece of wire gold. Get my camera in focus. Here it is. I found it again. I want to focus. Well, that's interesting. I don't have much more time today. I got a late start, but I want to dredge up some of this material behind the rocks, since I had good luck with that farther upstream. You can see there's several rocks, and they have that low pressure fallout right behind them. This one looks really good right here, so we'll be dredging some of that up and see what's in that. Well, I just got to get a workout. That much material came out of this little hole. Of course, it kept caving in, so I don't know that I necessarily got what was on the bottom, but I think I got enough that there should be some gold in there. I'll show you what I find. I just got time to do that one rock. It wasn't a big rock, but you can see all the black sand in there. The sluice is working really good. You can see how these little rocks kind of jump around in there, and every now and then they'll shoot off. That's how you know you got it running just about right. You're not losing black sand that way. That means you're not losing gold. But if this has any gold in it, just think what might be behind rock number 2 up there. There's got to be some gold behind that. That's what I'll try to check tomorrow if I can get permission to keep coming back. Alright, so I'm back home. Had dinner, and Oakley's played frisbee. So now I want to see what's in that black sand I brought home. It's got all the gold that I saw, and I'm hoping to find some really fine stuff by running it through these 2 classifiers. So I'm going to do that here right now. Alright, so this is what I wanted to find out. See how much really teeny tiny gold is in that black sand. There it is right there. You have to magnify to see, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 small pieces, and of course that one big one right there in the center. So that's not bad, considering that wasn't a whole lot of black sand. I'm not going to try to save these little pieces, so I'm just going to do a dump. Make sure those pieces are gone. Yeah. So we're starting with a fresh slate here. Pun intended. So here is the in-between side of black sand. I found two little specks here. Oh well, I think, yeah. And you saw how little material that was, so that's not a bad speck count. Well, here's what came out of the big classifier. That um, most of this gold we already saw in the pan. I might have picked out a few pieces we didn't see. That's it right there, and I'll zoom in 2 times. Right there's 2 times the actual size. You can see there's a nice little chunk in there. There's 3 or 4 good little pieces. So if you could dredge at the bottom of that stream, you might get something pretty decent out of there. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I think you know where my attention is going to be for the next little bit. If Kevin can get me permission to do some more investigating down there, I'm sure I'll be back to show you what else I find out about that stream.